can underscore the following. The tax reform bills and the Tax Act will not become operational until 2026, January 1, 2026. And the 5% fuel surcharge, which is mentioned therein, will not automatically come into effect. And as of today, no order has been issued, none is being prepared, and there is no plan, there is no immediate plan to implement any surcharge.
He said implementation will only take effect when his office issues an order published in the official gazette following careful consideration of economic conditions. He stressed that the provision is not a new measure from the current administration, but originally from the FEMA Act of 2007, intended to create a dedicated fund for road maintenance and infrastructure. In Abuja, Nneka Oko, NTA News.
National Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers has suspended its nationwide strike after Dangote Refinery accepted unionization of its workers. This was the outcome of a meeting between representatives of the federal government, the organized labor, and Dangote Group, where a memorandum of understanding was signed between all parties. The MOU states that the process of unionization shall commence immediately and will be completed within 2 weeks, from 9th of September to 22nd, 2025, that the employer will not set up any other union and no employee of Dangote Refinery and Petrochemicals will be victimized. Parties will revert to the Minister of Labor in 2 weeks' time on the level of implementation of the MOU. And Nigeria has restated commitment to strengthening the country's bold economic reforms that are geared towards industrialization. Vice President Kashim Shettima stated this at the 66th Annual Conference of the Nigerian Economic Society held in Abuja. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila reports.
Rethinking Africa's development pathways to economic transformation and social inclusion in a changing global economic landscape is the theme of the 66th Annual Conference of the Nigerian Economic Society. Participants drawn from 22 African countries at this meeting, brainstorming on how to harness technology towards scaling capacity development and social inclusion to co-create policy dialogues in advancing Africa's transformation.
We recognize that the reforms of the past 2 years have stabilized our economy and repositioned it for sustainable growth. However, these reforms will be complemented by adequate social investments and measures to shield the economy from deindustrialization and increase dependence on food imports.
This whole consists of those who should lead the paradigm shift in drawing attention to what we must do differently and urgently. And luckily, they have the material because of what has been done in Nigeria in the last 2.5 years.
The livestock sector today, I want to tell you, is the next crude oil after the crude oil.
This moment is so symbolic, and it is being performed by 3 pillars of our economic community.
Vice President Kashim Shettima is among the 14 awardees conferred with the Society's highest award, Fellow of the Nigerian Economic Society. President Bola Tinubu remains committed to diversifying the Nigerian economy, as Vice President Kashim Shettima described the Nigerian leader as a man with the political will to take bold decisions.
To catch up with this changing world, Africa must embrace structural transformation that embeds its human capital and reverse unemployment. Poverty must be confronted head-on, for the promise of this continent to be realized in the lives of our people. There is no justification for the low per capita income that afflicts our nations amidst the resources at our disposal. We are in a position to harness our youth bulge and transform them into demographic dividends instead of the much feared demographic disaster that is expected to consume all of us.
Vice President Shettima assures that Nigeria has a unique position to fill with its youthful population, and the Tinubu administration is ready to work with stakeholders in turning Nigeria's potential into global assets. In Abuja, Abraham Jibrila, NTA News.
The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, has stated that President Tinubu's recent temporary suspension of raw share exports is a bold and strategic measure aimed at opening up the vast economic potential of Nigeria's share industry and positioning the country as a global leader in the share economy. Represented by the Director General of the Voice of Nigeria, Malam Jibrin Baba Ndache, at the 20th Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, ACAN, Northern Zonal Accountants Conference in Minna. The minister said the decision is not a mere policy experiment, but a bold and forward-looking measure aimed at unlocking the full potential of rural economy, insisting that Nigeria's share, which accounts for over 50% of the world's share production, does not remain a supplier of raw materials, but becomes a global leader in high-value share products by encouraging local processing. In a statement, the minister also commended the National Share Products Association of Nigeria for embracing the president's vision, adding that the federal government is providing the enabling environment to make it a reality. The minister called on accountants and other professionals to become strategic partners in national reorientation, noting that their expertise and example can inspire a new culture of accountability that will strengthen the nation's democracy and drive sustainable development. The visibility of Made in Nigeria products is gaining more traction as the country expands into new markets and demand for its goods and services continues to soar. Comfort Amodu reports from the 2025 Intra-African Trade Fair, where Nigerian businesses are engaging with other key players across the continent.
Nigeria is making a bolder statement on the global stage with its dynamic participation at the IATF 2025, showcasing a diverse range of products, innovations and investment opportunities, positioning itself as a key driver of the African Continental Free Trade Area, AFCFTA.
They've taken a lot of contracts from networking, a lot of contracts, a lot of MOUs are being signed. We at NEPC we will now follow through to ensure that we seal it. And there's a lot of communication and networking between them and other countries.
And from manufacturing and agriculture to fintech and creative industry, Nigeria's presence reflects its ambition to deepen intra-African trade and strengthen economic ties across the continent.
The egusi particularly, then you speak to them about it, they understand it, they in fact want to eat it as snack. I've had a number of them ask me if they can just chew it.
We've got a lot of engagement with different Africans, different off-takers. Nigeria is, of course, a vibrant market.
Our standards are global. We have passed all the standards, both African standards, Nigerian standards, international standards. We are second to none. As far as I'm concerned, we don't have real competition in Africa.
For the very first time, the IATF will be held in West Africa, and Nigeria actually won the bid to host the next IATF in 2027. From Algiers, Algeria, I'm Comfort Amodu, NTA News.
The National Assembly has communicated Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan that the matter of her resumption is not administrative but sub judice, as the matter on her suspension is pending before the Court of Appeal. The communication was in response to a letter to the clerk to the National Assembly from Senator Natasha, in which she stated her intention to resume Senate duties, explaining that the suspension period imposed on her by the Senate expires on the 4th of September 2025. The acting clerk to the National Assembly, as directed, informed Senator Natasha that the suspension will be reviewed as soon as the judicial process on the matter is concluded. Senator Natasha was suspended for 6 months on the 6th of March 2025, as recommended by the Senate Committee on Ethics, Privileges and Public Petition, for violating Senate standing rules with regards to seating arrangement at the Senate chamber. Her attempt to gain access into the complex on 21st July 2025 was unsuccessful, as she was denied entry by National Assembly security operatives. The People's Democratic Party has condemned what it described as an attempt to bar Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan from resuming in the Senate after serving her 6-month suspension. In a statement, PDP's National Publicity Secretary, Debo Ologunabwa, faulted the reported action of the clerk of the National Assembly, which, according to the opposition party, is a calculated move to silence Akpoti-Uduaghan and deny the people of Kogi Central their rights to representation. The party described the move as provocative, stressing that it not only violates the 1999 Constitution as amended and the standing rules of the Senate, but also poses a grave danger to democratic governance and national stability. This is the news at 10 on NTN News 24. We'll take a break here. There will be more reports when we return. Stay. Many thanks for staying on. NTN News 24 Abuja advises viewer that the station will be performing a planned maintenance on their contribution equipment from South Africa. This is scheduled to take place for 2 days, effective Tuesday, 9th September 2025 to today, Wednesday, 10th September 2025, from 9 o'clock in the morning to 5 o'clock in the evening each day. Service interruption is unavoidable on our DSTV and GoTV signals, and downtime of about 30 minutes to an hour could be experienced. We sincerely apologize for any inconveniences caused by this development. The House of Representatives Committee on Land Transport has asked the Minister of Transportation, Seidu Alkali, to appear before Parliament in 48 hours over the recent derailment of a Kaduna-bound train conveying 618 passengers. At a scheduled investigative hearing attended by the management of the Nigerian Railway Corporation, members of the House Committee expressed concern over the minister's absence. The lawmakers unanimously resolved to suspend the probe until the minister appears in person to respond to questions regarding the train derailment.
Honorable Minister, within 48 hours to appear before this Honorable House to account to Nigerians on the derailment, the recent devastating derailment between Abuja Kaduna Rail.
This meeting cannot really proceed, and it is not because we are not here. We are ready to go on with this process. We want to investigate the issues that have been happening, the incessant issues, threatening the lives of Nigerians concerning our railways. We are here to debate it, to investigate it, to interrogate it, and the minister is stalling the process.
The Public Accounts Committee of the House of Representatives has described as inaccurate some media reports which quoted the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, as alleging that the current administration was involved in reckless borrowing and unsubstantiated debt. The committee clarifies that the Speaker, represented by the Majority Leader of the House at the West African Association of Public Accounts Committee Annual Conference, did not criticize Nigeria's debt profile. Instead, it says the Speaker charged members of the Public Accounts Committee from West African countries to deepen their oversight of public debt expenditure in order to ensure that there is value for money. Nigeria is charting a new path for a renewed, reliable and sustainable power supply to the country's health sector. Sawa Khalil Ibrahim reports that stakeholders are joining forces to close the gaps and address the challenges at the first national dialogue on power in the health sector.
The intersection of energy access and healthcare delivery has never been more evident, and according to the World Bank, over 300 babies are lost each year in communities due to lack of reliable electricity for neonatal care. We have also heard of patients dying during critical medical procedure, also due to power outage.
They want to do operation, they are expecting light, there is no light. Or sometimes they will be looking for diesel up and down.
Without lights, there won't be oxygen supply. Those people in the theater, how will they save their life?
To address these issues, therefore, government officials at all levels are convened on Abuja to provide workable solutions.
The time has come for us to jointly take stock and put all hands on deck to address the access and quality limiting effects of energy poverty in our health sector.
This is not just about powering buildings. It is about powering hope, powering dignity, and powering the future of our nation.
If we can get this power sorted, and we can get internet connectivity and the digital transformation, our health system will leapfrog. Suddenly it will be the icon on the continent, and medical tourism will become a thing of the past.
This national dialogue must not be a mere talk shop. It must yield actionable outcomes, including the review and alignment of national and subnational policies on energy access in the health sector.
The intervention is not just about infrastructure. It's about securing life and ensuring access to medical care that does not fail when the grid does. In Abuja, Salwa Khalil Ibrahim, NTA News.
National scholars under the Renewed Hope Initiative National Scholarship Program have taken delivery of a third tranche of 1 million naira to further aid their academic pursuit. Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu handed out the fund along with brand new laptops during a mid-term assessment and interactive session with the scholars. State House correspondent Adeniyi Taiwo reports that beyond the scholarship, beneficiaries also got tips on early start in business.
Emerged national scholars under the Renewed Hope Initiative National Scholarship Program in 2023, an initial sum of 1 million naira and a laptop delivered to them to support their educational pursuit.
The money given to you is a lot, but that doesn't mean that you should go and become lazy.
What started out then as sponsorship evolved into mentorship at this midterm assessment and interactive session held by Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu with the scholars. The session, which saw the First Lady heading a panel and engaging directly with the scholars, seeks to measure impact and, more importantly, raise unusual students who intentionally combine learning with earning.
I want to ask you, what do you also add to the table?
That question, followed by a submission, shaped the content of the interactive session as the First Lady, drawing from personal experiences, harped on the need for the scholars to exploit the environment by undertaking small business ventures.
Do something to add to what you've already been given. It's good for you to learn a skill or something that can help you.
I just want to encourage you, just put more effort and be a source of pride and ambassadors of Renewed Hope Initiative.
The computer that Renewed Hope Initiative has given to you, this is your gateway to the world.
Therefore, if you have the skills, don't just keep it to yourself. Try and do something so that people will see what you can do.
And never look at the money and say, oh, the money is too small. And also remember that not all money is good money.
Also, in today's world, we have remote working. So check for opportunities for remote work wherever you're not entrepreneurial.
I would advise you to always save, trust God, and stay focused.
The panel was not disappointed as feedback from the cohort of 47 scholars indicates that a new crop of entrepreneurs is already in the making.
For the past 2 years, I've been a professional graphic designer.
How much do you earn?
So for students, it can be around maybe 7,000 to 10,000 per job, but for people that are not students, maybe 20,000.
I sell jewelries in the hostel. I engage in cooking in bulk, and I also engage in industrial cleaning. That's what I do to support
And
myself.
you sell to your fellow students too?
Yes, ma'am.
Very smart.
Question and answer session soon gave way to another round of empowerment as the scholars received another 1 million naira, marking the third tranche in their scholarship from RHI, along with a brand new laptop, courtesy of National Information Technology Development Agency, NITDA. It is expected to serve as a fresh motivation for the scholars to study and work. From the banquet hall of the presidential villa, Adeni Itaiwo, NTA News.
And Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu says education as a foundation of hope must be safeguarded in order to secure the future. This is in her message marking this year's International Day of Protecting Education from Attack. She says the theme of the celebration, Challenging Narratives, Reshaping Action, is a call to move beyond words and take stronger action to safeguard education. While applauding security agencies in the country for doing their best, the First Lady notes that protecting schools must remain a shared national priority. She appreciates international organizations, including UNICEF, UNESCO, and the Education Above All Foundation, for their efforts in advancing child education globally. For many Nigerian children, the dream of learning in safety is still threatened by insecurity. As the world marks the International Day to Protect Education from Attack, the Federal Ministry of Education, through its Safe School Unit, reminds the nation that schools should be sanctuaries of hope where children can learn, play, and grow without fear.
For many young Nigerians, school is more than just a classroom, but a place where futures are nurtured and built. For Emmanuel, a student of Federal Government Boys College, Apo, Abuja, schools must be given proper priority with safety guaranteed, especially in regions prone to threats.
Our teachers are well trained and our housemasters are living with us in the hostel. So we feel safe. Any attack that is to come, they have precautions to take.
Education is not a privilege, but a right. It's the key to freedom, it's opportunity, and it is national progress.
We're joining our voices globally, not just in Nigeria, to say let's keep our children safe in schools.
Stakeholders agreed that reshaping actions means moving beyond rhetorics to practical steps, training teachers on emergency response, involving communities in surveillance, and providing psychosocial support for traumatized learners.
We must collectively rise to ensure that no child's dream is truncated by insecurity.
The determinant factor becomes that these children must be safe from all forms of attacks.
By confronting the narrative of fear and insecurity, Nigeria aims to rewrite the story of its schools by transforming them into safe spaces where dreams are nurtured, not destroyed.
You're still on to the news at 10 on NTA News 24. We will take another break here. There will be more reports when we return. This day.